Hey, it's Evelyn and it's Vlogmas day 2. I feel like I'm starting off with a bang. Last week I gave you guys the apartment tour, which a lot of you seem to really enjoy. And I thought that was just a nice little precursor, you know what I'm saying, for what we're going to be doing for Vlogmas. So in this video, I thought I would share with you guys what I actually do for a living so I'm going to just consider this part of the Get to Know Me series, and I'll probably do like another video like 10 things you don't know about me or something like that, and I think that'll be pretty interesting. You will get to find out some things that you may not know about me. But I thought in this video I would do what do I actually do for a living, because you know me as Chef Evelyn. If you've been with me a long time, then you knew me when I was an engineer and when I transitioned into culinary school, graduated from culinary school, and became a chef. All those videos are on this channel, but you got to dig back into the archives. We talking circa 2008, 9, and 10. So, and that's how long your girl has been on YouTube. So anyway, I thought I'd talk to you about what I actually do for a living, because it's changed over the years, and I'm still Chef Evelyn. Let's be clear, that's still a part of my business, but it has expanded. So when I was away, over the past 2 years, I've done a lot of things, So let's just start with the Chef Evelyn part. So one, okay, I'm Chef Evelyn, but I'm not a chef in the traditional sense, which I don't know if a lot of you know that. I don't know if you know that. I'm not a chef in traditional sense, meaning I don't work at a restaurant. I don't have a catering company. I don't work at a hotel or on a cruise ship or something like that. For several years, I worked for 2 different companies teaching cooking classes, right, as their resident chef, or basically as their head chef / cooking school manager at 2 different companies. Really great experiences. One was at a gourmet grocery retailer, which is really big here in Texas, and one was at like a high-end kitchenware store that's like a national chain, okay? So I've done that, okay? And I've freelanced here and there. Like I've done like in-home dinner parties. I've done in-home cooking classes. I used to cater, which I don't like to do. You guys have probably heard me talk about that. Y'all, I've been a little tired lately, and like my voice has just not come all the way back. Let me get some water. Hold on. Okay, so got some water. It's a little bit better. Okay, I feel like I'm ready now. So I've done, in-home cooking classes, dinner parties, personal chefing, private lessons, catering. I've done like wedding cakes. I've sold baked goods. But what I most enjoy is a couple of things, and this is all under Chef Evelyn, and then I'll tell you about the other things that I do that you may not be aware of, which I think you might find fairly interesting. It might explain why I like to do the kind of video content that I do. Okay, so what I do right now is a couple of things. Number one, I have an online cooking coaching program where I teach foodies and families how to cook better, eat together, and enjoy gourmet every day, right? It sounds very catchy, but really what that's about is I take my healthy eating journey and everything that I learned after being diagnosed with cancer and how I had to change my diet and my lifestyle and stuff in my home, and I have workshops that are in like a series of master classes that are inside of that program. In addition to that, I take my passion for connecting with people over a meal and how I create really great experiences and intimate connection, whether it's when I used to do events. You guys know I used to do an event called the Sweet Suite. I used to have an organization called the Urban Foodie, right? And one of the things that people used to really appreciate about those events was not just the food, but was the connection that I created and the environments that I created. So I have master classes inside of that coaching program that teach people how to do that. And then what I also have inside of that coaching program is I teach you how to actually cook better. So not just cooking healthier, but like, let's just say you kind of want to be healthy, but the real deal is you just want to be able to throw down in the kitchen and flex a little bit, flex on people's timelines and on their taste buds, right? And so what I do is I took all of my culinary school experience and I took out all of the like super chefy restaurant-y stuff, and I condensed it down for people who don't necessarily want to go to culinary school, but they do want to be a much better cook at home. So I do that for singles. I do that for families. If you're a foodie, that's kind of what I do. So that's kind of the main thing that I do under Chef Evelyn. In addition to that, okay, what you do not get to see behind the scenes is I often will go into corporations and as a consultant and work with them with their health and wellness program, whether it's doing like healthy cooking lectures and seminars or workshops and demonstrations. I do that, and I travel to do that sometimes. So sometimes a company will fly me in, so even if they're not local to Dallas, I've gone to Atlanta, I've gone to the East Coast, I've gone to different parts of Texas to do that. And so I really, really enjoy that. So, side note, if you got a company and y'all got a health and wellness budget, I'm paid through your insurance. Holla at your girl. Anyway, so I do that, but you guys really don't get to see that. Sometimes you get to see a little bit behind the scenes if you follow me on like Instagram, Facebook, or Periscope. Sometimes you get to see a little behind the scenes of that. And I really like that. It's really cool to be able to kind of bring what I used to do, like the cooking class experience and just my knowledge and expertise into a corporation during their workday. So that's really, really cool. And then I also license content to them. So let's say they want to give my programs to their employees as a benefit, then we can do that as well. Okay, so that's kind of Chef Evelyn, right? And then underneath Chef Evelyn, what I also do is I teach corporate professionals how to transition into culinary careers. So I have another coaching program where I teach people how to change careers and have a successful career as a chef if they have been in a more corporate setting. So whether they were an engineer like me or a doctor or a lawyer, they got their master's or whatever they've done, or they're an architect or whatever they did in a previous life, and they want to transition into a culinary career and they want to do it from a business standpoint. They don't necessarily want to go work in a restaurant or a hotel or even own a restaurant or a catering company. I'm more so help people who, maybe they were in human resources or they worked in manufacturing or whatever they did, and then they want to start their own business, but they're kind of like me, like maybe they were a little bit older, or they were like I think I was in my late 20s when I transition careers, and I didn't want to do the work all the time, work to 2, 3 in the morning career path. I knew I wanted to be able to spend time with my family and my friends, and I also knew that the traditional career path for culinary and chefs didn't really pay a whole lot. And so I knew I needed to come up with something different. So I basically take what I've learned over the past 8-9 years and I condense it down into a program so that they don't have to learn from scratch. They don't have to DIY it like I did and wasted a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of stress. And so I do that. And so that's why my other channel, Chef Evelyn TV, is mostly I put that content over there, and then I'm going to be bringing a lot of my culinary content over here, if that makes sense. So that's that. And then, okay, so that's all under Chef Evelyn. So that's pretty much the bubble of Chef Evelyn, right? So I have the cooking coaching program, and then I have the corporate programs, and then I have the chef programs. So that's kind of the 3 things that I do underneath the brand of Chef Evelyn. The reason why this channel is called Evelyn Inc. is because I have had several people reach out to me over the years and like, oh, I love your Chef Evelyn brand, but I don't want to be a chef. I want you to coach me to do what you do with your brand, which is just the branding and the content and, how I set up my business on the back end and the pricing and all that kind of stuff, and just, how to do it without being stressed out and overwhelmed, because I'm very good at systems and strategies. And so what was crazy is one of my very first clients basically threatened me like, send me an invoice, send me a proposal, and I need you to coach me. And what was fantastic about that is we launched a course for her, and a course made 5 figures in like 2 weeks. 5 figures in like 2 weeks. It was crazy. And so I started doing business coaching for creative entrepreneurs and really giving them that structure, those systems, that strategy, because a lot of times like one of my clients had like 15 different programs, and I was like, girl, let me tell you what we're not about to do. I had another client who was a YouTuber, amazing creative storyteller, and just helping her organize her creative juices in a way that would be profitable for her. Because a lot of times we have these amazing ideas and we don't know how to make money at them. Or even if we're making money at them, like we're all over the place, and so we're exhausted trying to get it together systematically, or the marketing is not systematic. And then a lot of it, I will say, I had another client that owned a beauty business. Let me just say it like that. And I'm trying to make sure I keep their, it's very confidential. Like, I'm just not putting their business out in the street. Unless they want to chime in. If they're watching this video and they want to chime in and be like, yeah, girl, that was me, then feel free. But I had another client who owned a beauty business, and, helping her market consistently, because she had a full-time job, she had a very busy life, and like her brand was great, but she wasn't marketing. She didn't know what to say, what to do, how to create content, all that kind of stuff in a way that worked with her lifestyle. Like, she could do it, but it was overwhelming. And so I'm more of an operational systems strategist. Like, how do you run your business so that it's the most profitable, you're on brand, you know what you're trying to say, you're priced correctly, and you can do it over and over and over again. And then a lot of that also is mindset. Like, I know that's a word that's probably overused right now. Like, it's so overused, but it's so accurate, y'all. And so a lot of that is mindset. I've done significant work on my mindset around charging my value, being comfortable asking for my prices, very clear about what I do, what I don't do, what to say yes to, what to say no to, all that kind of stuff. So and that's what Evelyn Inc. is about. And so that's why there's this channel. This channel started as a natural hair channel, and then I did the Leaving Corporate America series, and then I did the Find Your Flavor series, and then I did Corporate to Carefree series, and like, your business series and whatever. And so, that's where all that comes from. And I took the Clifton's Strengths Finder assessment. Look, my mouth is still a little dry. I took the Clifton's Strength Finder assessment for entrepreneurials, and for entrepreneurials. Wow. Get it together. Okay. Let's try this one more time. I took their Strength Finders assessment for entrepreneurs, and my number one strength is strategy. And a lot of people don't understand what strategy is, but it's very, very simple. We use strategy every day, even if it's in an app or technology. And the best example I can give is the GPS in your car, right? Which is, where you want to go. And the GPS kind of knows where you are, and it knows the terrain, and so it gives you options to get to your destination. That's basically what a strategist does. I give you options to get to your destination, but you get to set the parameters. So, for example, if you're using your GPS, let's say you live in Texas and you want to get to your destination, you may not want the shortest route, but you want the fastest route. Okay? This is the fastest route. You may not want the fastest route. You may want the shortest route. Okay? Shorter may take a little longer. Right? Sometimes you want to avoid tolls. Right? So particularly if you live in Texas, we got tollways everywhere. Like, you pay to drive here. Like, you pay to drive. Okay? Particularly if you live on North Dallas on the side like I do. You pay to drive everywhere. And so you may say, hey, I want to get to that destination, but I don't want to pay any tolls. Or your GPS can get you there. Now, it may take you the long scenic route, but you can get there, right? But you get to set the parameters. That's basically what I do with my clients. We talk about where they are. We talk about where they want to go, and we talk about how they want to function. So one of my clients is a stay-at-home mom. She's married. She has 4 beautiful children. And she was like, I don't want to be a speaker. I don't want to have to travel. And it needs to work like this. Okay. And so we walk through that. And then I take my, I guess, God-given ability, my experience in corporations, my own business experience, and I help them craft a plan to get to where they are. Now, the only way the strategy works, though, is they actually have to do the work. Kind of like your GPS can tell you how to get there, but if you don't turn right here and turn left there, then it doesn't work. So, and I walk with them through that process over whether it's 6 months, 9 months, or a year, or in a group format. So, anyway, So I do that, and that's Evelyn Inc. I don't have like separate social media for that because people reach out to me. I really don't necessarily have to solicit for that. And let me tell you, it's one of my favorite things to do. Y'all, can I tell y'all, there are so many people, but I feel like this would be offensive. There are so many people on social media that I'm like, ooh, just let me get my hands in your brand. Like, you could be making, I can look at certain people and be like, I know with what you got, you not making enough money. Even though they making money, I'm like, they could, oh my God. Like, I be, let me get my hands on your brand. Okay. All the way down to the aesthetic. Like, some people, back end and stuff is good. And if they would just spruce it up a little bit, like, definitely, y'all know I'm kind of into aesthetics and decor. If you watch my apartment tour video, then you can kind of get a sense that I like things to look decent, but they don't have to be crazy expensive to do that. But, yeah, and then I also, because of that business and the mindset, like, I charge premium prices because I expect my clients to charge premium prices. And so it's definitely an investment. I think that's another reason why I don't necessarily openly advertise that, because it's a significant investment. And, I have people invest in a level that they cannot walk away from. And it's by application only. So I don't just... anybody who wants to be my client can. I have to really like you. I have to really like your brand. I have to believe that you have the raw skills and the ability. And I have to believe that I can actually help you. Some brands I can't help. Whether I'm not familiar with it. Well, it doesn't really matter if I'm familiar with the entity, because all of those things were very, very different, because the widget, which is what your business is, really doesn't matter. But it's just, I got to vibe with the person. If I'm going to be spending a significant amount of time and intimately talking about mindset and business structures and systems and pricing and their struggle to raise their prices and all this kind of stuff, right? I want us to gel. And at the same time, if they're going to be investing in themselves through me significantly, I also want them to feel like they can trust me and that I'm really going to do what I can and work together with them in harmony, and not try to put what I would do on them, but you set the parameters, you set the destination, and we go from there. Sometimes I have to help my clients figure out what the destination is and figure out what the parameters are, and what's possible. I need more water. Okay. So, anyway, so that's what I do, y'all. And I thought that would be a great way to kick off Vlogmas day 2. And I'll leave the links to kind of all of that below if you're curious about just what I do, or if you know somebody who could benefit from my services or something like that. Or you can always email me if you have any questions about that. But I kind of wanted to just set the tone. Like, so when I'm going to do mini-series. All of Vlogmas is not going to be about like business and entrepreneurship. But when I do the mini-series, and as I'm, getting back to YouTube and I'm doing videos, I kind of want you to understand in context where it's coming from, right? And so, y'all, listen, I started my first business when I was 15 because people wanted cakes from me, and I was like, well, if you want a cake from me, you're gonna have to run me an invoice. Let me tell you, my friends and I, and a business accountability partner, and my clients, like, the phrase that I always get them saying is, if people want what if they want your expertise, they're gonna have to run you an invoice. Basically, like, they're gonna have to pay you. The days of, can I take you to coffee for $5 and pick your brain are over. I tell people, if you want to pick my brain, pick a payment option. Once you understand, and this is for my entrepreneurs out there who watch me, and I know a significant number of you have either side business or your business full time, whether you're creative or technical or business, it doesn't matter the industry. You have a skill that is highly valuable. You have worked on that skill, you have honed that skill. If you're rocking with me, if you're watching this video, I know you're good at what you do. We've already talked about this in a previous video, okay? And so people need to pay for that. When you think about how much you have invested in yourself, whether it's through time or sleepless nights or actual training and education and workshop and every webinar that you've watched, an ebook that you've read, and the work that you've done and the trial and error that you did in your own life and the money that you spent and lost and gained and all this kind of stuff, and the people that you've helped indirectly and coached for free. And if you want to pick all of that, and plus just my God-given ability, pick my brain, pick a payment. Okay, I just said that for motivation. I'm not necessarily talking to y'all. I mean, listen, if you want to work with me, all of it's an investment. But what I'm saying, that's not what this video is about. What I'm saying is, I'm saying that for you, that I want you as a business owner or as a potential business owner to have that same mindset. You have to understand that what you are offering people, the solutions that you're providing, the joy that you're bringing, the creativity that people are consuming, the content that people are consuming is super valuable. You have to determine what you require for them to access that, okay? And that's the one thing I help my clients with. And y'all let me know if y'all want me to do some videos about that. So anyway, another long video for day 2. I'm excited to be back. And yeah, y'all, if you're not following me on Instagram or Facebook or Periscope, Chef Evelyn on all of those. And yeah, y'all. So I'll see you in my next video. Peace.